This is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. I first and foremost want to say thank you so much to the Ignition Time community. We are growing very, very rapidly. In fact, my wife said to me, why are you out there making videos on a weekend? And I said to her, I don't even consider this as work. I consider, and I know this sounds super cheesy, but I consider you guys as my family, and we've come a long way in a very short period of time. And I do consider my viewers, my subscribers as my family. Again, I know it sounds super cheesy, but that's something I really believe. I want to share my thoughts today. This has nothing to do with an article or some content or some data. I want to share my thoughts today on the aggravation, the frustration that we are all experiencing as a result of the delay, as a result of the government gridlock with the unemployment benefit extensions. And I want to share my thoughts as to how we can try and deal with this. Now, I've been reading all the comments and I read as many comments as I can. It's not possible for me to read all of them, but I read as many as I can. And the overwhelming consensus is, when are the unemployment benefits coming? When is my state going to get the money? And I'm going to continue to give you the information as and when it comes out. That's what I've been doing because I want to be able to provide everybody with information. But the fact is, it's okay to be mad, because I do think we have a reason to be mad at the government, to be mad at our states for taking so long to provide help to those who need it the most. It's okay to be mad. It's also okay to be angry, to be frustrated at the government. But I think what would be even better is if we understand the system and we use the system in our favor. I think it's better to get even with the system by understanding the system and leveraging the system, because that's what I did. I have a rags to riches story. In fact, I wasn't even born in the United States of America. I moved to the United States of America many years ago. You can check out my story on the Ignition Time channel. I have a rags to riches story. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, because I actually understand how the system works. And my goal with this channel is to help you understand how the system works and use it to your benefit. Now, again, let me go back to the comments once again. There is a lot of anger, frustration with the government. When are my benefits going to come? Has my state been approved or not? The states are not paying, or the House Speaker is such and such, Senate Majority Leader such and such, the President has this, that, these ulterior motives, this, that, and the other. One thing I'll tell you, on this channel, you're not going to get any blame towards the government, towards the Democrats, towards the Republicans. As human beings, we have a need to blame someone, and I do agree. By the way, my position is that both sides are to be blamed, just so that we are clear. But my position is, as human beings, it's easy for us to blame someone. In this case, it's justified. In some cases, it's not. But in this case, it is justified, the need to blame someone, because many of us, millions of us, you my viewer, subscriber watching, chances are you or someone you know you've lost your job, or someone you know and love has lost their job, in many cases permanently, through no fault of their own. So that is a real economic reality. That is not something we can escape. That is an unfortunate economic reality of this pandemic. But the fact is that our country is a capitalist country. The way the systems have been created, the systems reward individuals for doing things that the government is normally expected to do. Here's what I mean by that. If you create jobs, if you're a job creator, there are rewards for you. If you create housing, there are rewards for you. And again, these are just two examples. There are other examples related to oil exploration and energy and all of those things. But let's say you're a job creator, you're an employer, specifically if you're in a technology company with rapidly growing technology, you actually emerge stronger from this pandemic, because the government is providing sort of the boost to individuals who create jobs. Individuals who create jobs have gotten PPP loans, Paycheck Protection Program loans, have gotten economic injury disaster loans, which are hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars over 30 years at 3.75% interest. I mean, when you take inflation into account, it's almost like the government is paying businesses to borrow money, because by the second or third year, that money has already lost a significant portion of its value, 2% a year on account of inflation, but you're only paying 3.75% a year. So if you had a $150,000 loan, and let's say your monthly payment was $900 in 2021, because the loan payments start a year from now, your monthly payment in 2051 will also be $900. But the $900 at that time will in effect be worth significantly less because of the value of inflation. So my point is that businesses that create jobs are emerging stronger. Many businesses that create jobs are emerging stronger. Now, let me be clear, the smaller businesses, the ones who were running on really thin margins, are getting wiped out, which again tells you that the system is fundamentally imbalanced in favor of those who A, create a lot of jobs, or B, individuals who create housing. If you own rental properties, or if you buy single family homes, you're now able to get interest rates at the lowest in the past 40-50 years. So again, this system, the way the system exists in its current form, rewards individuals who create jobs, rewards individuals who essentially create housing. And this is not a new system. This has been the case for a long time. So what does all of this mean to my viewers and subscribers watching this? Getting mad at the system is okay because you're angry, you're upset. Again, you've lost your job through no fault of your own. That's okay. I'm not blaming you. But getting even with the system, understanding the system, leveraging it in your favor is going to be even more important in this new economy that we find ourselves in. I think the best thing you can do if you're watching this, if you've lost your job, and if you've been permanently laid off, is I want you to try and A, re-engineer your skills. B, if you can, again I say if you can, start your own business. C, find ways to communicate with other people, create networks with other people that will allow you to find new opportunities. You sitting in your home complaining about the government, waiting for unemployment, is not going to take you to the next level. It's simply not. And I say this because I care for you. I'm actually telling you the truth. I'm telling you the reality. And I'm probably telling you things that others won't tell you. In fact, I'm pretty sure less than 1% of my audience will think that, I'm blaming you. I'm not. I want what's best for you. And so I think that us waiting for the government is not a long-term solution for our financial future. Now, let me be clear. I understand that in the short term, I understand that to get through the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, we have no option. We have to depend on the government, and I respect that. I understand that. I emphasize with that. Thinking about that actually keeps me up at night, which is why I make so many videos on the updates to the $300 a week, which states have been approved, what are the minimum and maximum weekly benefit amounts. I've been putting out a lot of information that you probably won't find on any conservative outlet, on any liberal outlet. You won't even find it on any other channel because I've been working very, very, very hard for that. But the long-term path, the long-term wealth generation strategy involves you essentially re-engineering a portion of your skills and becoming more valuable, whether it's to yourself and other customers, which by the way makes sense if you have your own business. And if you don't have your own business, you can't start your own business, that's fine. You then need to become more valuable to individuals who will pay you money for your services, because that is the only way for us to get to the next level and achieve the next step, the financial freedom that we deserve long term, for us to achieve the American dream. I can tell you because I've done it. I know what it's like to have no money. I also know what it's like to be on the other end and to have more than you need. And I want that for my viewers and subscribers. Again, let me be clear. Individuals who create jobs get tax benefits and essentially get preferential treatment as far as the government is concerned, because individuals who create jobs, big companies like Amazon, like Apple, Amazon barely pays any taxes. Jeff Bezos is now worth $200 billion. It doesn't mean he's a bad person. It means that he built a company that that essentially is the number one e-commerce platform in the world, and Amazon employs hundreds of thousands of people. I don't even know exactly how many people they employ, but because they are a big job creator, the government looks at Amazon, despite what the president feels about Amazon. Amazon is a job creator, right? And again, by the way, 1% of my viewers will say, oh my God, I'm in favor of Amazon. No, I'm talking about being a job creator. So I want all my viewers and subscribers to just take a step back. Think about this as we emerge from this crisis, as we emerge from the public health emergency, and say, what can I do to potentially become a job creator? What can I do to potentially help other people with their housing? Therein lie the advantages, the tax advantages. Therein lies the opportunity for you to get to the next level financially. Again, this is a very high level overview, but I need us to come out of our shell. I need us to stop blaming and stop getting mad at the government, even though you have a legitimate reason to, because that emotion, that blame game is not going to be healthy. It's going to be toxic, and it's probably going to hold you back from your long-term financial future. Now, it's very clear that many of us have a lot of disdain for the government. It's very clear that a lot of us simply believe that, it doesn't matter whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. We believe the government can't help us or do anything for us. And you're free to make your own opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at this is the system exists a certain way, and what we need to do, as instead of saying, hey, let's change the system, let's revolt on the streets, let's throw them all out of Congress, that is not the solution. The solution is to understand the system that has existed for generations, for centuries, and to be able to emerge stronger and get the system to work for you. And by the way, that's what I'm going to teach all my viewers and subscribers in this channel. What you'll see in the future, in the coming weeks, in the coming months on my channel, is ways to make more money, ways to start a business, ways to get out of debt, ways to invest your money, and ways to achieve financial freedom. That is what you're going to get on my channel in the coming months, because at some point we're going to move past stimulus checks and unemployment benefits as a country, as a people. And I think that switch has to happen up here in the mind before it can start to happen in your bank account, before it can start to happen in your behavior, before it can start to happen in your mentality. So in your overall approach. So all changes have to occur inside before they manifest outside. And I want all my viewers and subscribers to be extremely successful. I want you to live the American dream. I want you to be extremely successful. I want you to be more successful than me. I want to be able to just look at you and say, gosh, the student overtook the master. I'm okay with that. But I think it begins by taking yourself away from influences where you're essentially asked to blame someone else. I would advise you not to spend too much time on channels or TV or even books or anything that makes you blame one side. That's not healthy. That is the media essentially. That is the media or the creator trying to manipulate you. I didn't want to use the word manipulate, but I said it. But that's the media trying to manipulate you to take sides, because individuals are likely to gravitate towards someone as long as that someone throws stones at their enemies. Right now, depending on your political agenda, the Republicans are the enemy or the Democrats are the enemy. So anyone who opposes the Republicans, you gravitate towards them. If anyone opposes the Democrats and makes fun of Speaker Pelosi, you gravitate towards them. By the way, if you observe how I do my videos, most of the time, unless I'm in a hurry, I always refer to the president as President Trump. I don't say Trump said this, Trump said that, Trump said this, Trump said that. And also the House Speaker Pelosi, most of the time, and unless I'm in a hurry, like I said, I say Speaker Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi. I don't say Pelosi, Pelosi, Pelosi. Because I want to be respectful of both sides. I want to be respectful of our elected officials. So when I speak about elected officials, I will always speak about them respectfully. I will always analyze the situation as objectively as I can, and then I will advise you about what you need to do going forward, because this is a highly politicized, highly partisan environment. In fact, I believe that leading up until to the elections, the two sides are going to divide us even further. Other channels that you see on YouTube will also divide us further. I know many other channels out there that are highly divisive, and I'm not going to do that. On this channel, there will be no blame towards one side or the other. If I see something that's wrong, I'll call it out. If I see the president doing something wrong, I'll call it out. If I see the speaker doing something wrong, I'll call it out. And by the way, both sides are doing tons of things that are wrong. This gridlock is more political than it is economical. They're just apart by $900 billion at this point in time, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of money. But this is a political game at this point in time, because we are so close to an election, because a lot of these individuals are up for re-election. As far as I'm concerned, I am 100% going to be voting in November. I'm going to be there at the crack of dawn if I have to. I'm going to be in a hazmat suit if I have to. I don't think I'll need to, but that is what I'm going to do. I think that having apathy is a much more dangerous emotion than having hate. I know some of my viewers and subscribers say, oh, I'm not going to vote. I'm just not going to vote. That is apathy. In other words, that, by the way, if you hated one side, you're going to go and vote for the other side. But if you have apathy, you say, I'm not going to vote. I think apathy in this situation is worse than hatred. And I do believe that we need to not retreat, but I think we need to think about this objectively and make a decision. Now, I can't speak for you, and I'm not even trying to speak for you, but I can speak for myself. I'm going to vote, and I'm definitely going to, I know how the system works, and I've actually been understanding the system, and that understanding of the system built over many, many years has, this pandemic has, let me be clear, this pandemic has made the rich richer, and this pandemic has made the poor poorer. It is a K-shaped recovery. It is not a V-shaped recovery. It is a K-shaped recovery. And, house sales are booming. Home sales are booming. Where I live, the threshold for a Freddie Fannie, for a conforming loan is $760,000. So in other words, an individual can borrow up to $760,000 if they have good credit, if they have, the down payment, and if they have a steady job. They can borrow up to $760,000 at 2.99%. In my neck of the woods, $1 million homes are flying off the shelves because an individual can buy $1 million home, put down 25% and borrow 760 at 2.99%. Home sales are increasing. The stock market continues to go up. We are on the verge of a vaccine. In fact, the president specifically announced that there's going to be a vaccine, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a vaccine before the election. Whether you take the vaccine or not is not the point. So that's not the point. The point is there is a higher level game being played, and you can either complain about it or you can understand it, leverage it, win the game, and emerge stronger. And then hopefully you can get to a point where you can help other people. I'm trying to help other people through my channel. My mechanism for helping, for giving back is this YouTube channel. This, what you're watching right here, I'm doing it because I care for my fellow Americans, and I'm telling you the truth. And there will be a small percentage of the audience who simply can't handle the truth, and that's okay. But if I can help a handful of you through this video, I think I will have done my job. This was completely unscripted. This was not, there was no article, no data point. This is completely my opinion based on my observations of the system. This in my opinion is the truth that is hidden from a lot of people. And I wish I had known that. I'm 42 years old. If someone had told me all of these things when I was in my mid-20s, late 20s, I think I would have saved at least 5 years of struggle, of pain. At the end of the day, if you are creating jobs, if you're creating housing, and if you have the right kind of connections, and again, the wealthy have the right kind of connections. The wealthy have, personal representatives at bank accounts. The wealthy have individuals who handle the day-to-day things for them. And I want you to get to a point where you can start to think of the bigger picture, think of the system. And that's what, by the way, I'll be educating you on with this channel. I'm sorry this is such a long video. I didn't realize that it was such a long video. So I'll start to wrap up now. But if this was beneficial, if you agree with any of these thoughts, please type out in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my introductory video on our channel. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, and I will help you lead and prosper with your own American dream. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. I release information with lots of data, with lots of information, with lots of charts. I don't believe in short-term fixes. I'm not going to tell you to buy a stock because it's going to go up tomorrow, in the next week, or in the next month. That's not how my investing strategy works. But I will start to explore more and more with you in the coming weeks and coming months. Also, if you want to get alerts from us, get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and then you'll get added to our breaking news and alerts list going forward. And if we launch some sort of a coaching program, I'll let you know about that as well. Also, you can get added to our email list, and you can opt out of the emails at any time. I do appreciate you watching. Please click like, please click subscribe if you learned something new. I really appreciate you watching. Once again, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.